GOGI, GOGI. Learn GOGI tools, real lessons to live by.
Okay, now I can hear you.
There you go.
Good afternoon. Let me change my background, maybe. I
Yeah.
had to download a bunch of stuff for the new
Zoom.
Zoom. Yeah. uh,
You also look like you might be an AI creation.
yeah.
I think because your camera on your computer is not real clear.
Looks like the sun is coming from the side.
Yeah.
It's just like a. Yeah, that's what it is.
Let me close the blinds, maybe.
I think that's great. You know, for anybody who's watching, getting set up for Zoom meetings is not as easy as it might look if you're watching a polished Zoom thing. That's why we're recording now, to show you that there's a lot of manipulation here that gets it just right. See, that's a lot better.
Okay.
I think that's the thing too, coaches. A lot of people who are coming home are
Yeah.
gonna have to get ready to start using Zoom, and they'll be attending meetings through
Okay.
Zoom and job interviews and
I think
all
I
these
am
other
ready.
things.
Yeah, and now Justin's ready. We're happy about that. I'm so happy that you would join us. And the topic today really, Justin, is the GOGI Life Tools in recovery. And we're not only talking about drug addiction, we're talking about every single possible addictive behavior. We talked to one of our coaches and he said, well, my addiction was gangs. We talked to another, it was, you know, I was addicted to negativity. So we're really speaking to anybody who might believe, or maybe they don't even know, that they have an addiction of some sort, and the applicability of the GOGI Life Tools. I brought you on simply because you're GOGI 100%. You are running meetings over Zoom and all sorts of things. So welcome to our little conversation.
Oh yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now you are working with individuals. Are they in the re-entry process, or what? Explain to me what you're doing, because I wasn't really clear.
So I actually work at an inpatient drug treatment facility. Some of them are reentry. They're coming straight out of prison, coming here. Many are coming right out of jail. Some come on their own. And so they're dealing with substance abuse issues. And I'm able here at work to share the GOGI Life Tools with them.
Now, you sent me an email that one of our students, one of your clients, had done well, finished a couple of GOGI courses, relapsed, and is back in and has done some more GOGI courses. Talk to me about how you handle relapses when you're in an inpatient environment. Somebody leaves, they are all good, they're ready to go, and then they're brought back because they have relapsed. Talk to me about how do you go through that process, and how is that grace available for that person who's reality check kind of thing? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Reality check is the tool that he wasn't actually familiar with that one yet because he hadn't got there yet. So I was able to share it with him. But this is a person who, of course, I met here, and we started going to church together. Once he left here, he was volunteering, living that ultimate freedom, a big part of his recovery. And then as he started having more freedom, he didn't pay attention to himself. He didn't have that self-care and didn't realize that a lot of times we take responsibility to everything outside of us and place that responsibility at the top. And for him, it was his employment. He had a promotion, but it changed his work hours. When his work hours changed, his opportunities to give back were taken away. His opportunity to go to 12-step meetings and celebrate recovery and church, all those were taken away. And it's a good thing to be responsible in work. But what it was is he placed that responsibility over his own recovery. And so he had those 2 steps back. But fortunately for him, he caught it quickly, called me. I joke around and said, it's bring your friend to work day. And I brought him back to work. And he's still here working on the GOGI tools. He was talking about forgive. For him to be able to give, he needs to be free from harm. And that's what it was. His work hours changed. That put him in harm's way. He didn't see it coming. He didn't see it for his first month here. And then I kept asking him, what happened? What happened? What were you thinking? What were your thoughts? You know, what had changed? And then he finally recognized what changed. And so it's really good. You know, I'm happy for him. I'm glad that he's going to be able to get into this reality check. And he, even though he didn't know it yet, he's working it.
So tell me about the shame that inevitably comes when someone fails, when they relapse, or when they don't meet their own expectations in recovery. There's this, sometimes it's a wave, sometimes it's debilitating, sometimes it's a self-loathing. How do you manage that when you run into disappointment or your client runs into disappointment and you have to somehow navigate through it so that you're not on another rodeo ride?
Man, that's the first thing I remind them about the 12-step program is that it's a spiritual progress, not perfection. We can't be hard on ourselves. The GOGI tools, I am not my past. And so we got to let go of that shame and that guilt, pick ourselves back up, dust ourselves off, and start moving forward again. That was a real concern of mine because I had actually had him, this individual here, come to the food distribution because he was already volunteering on his own. And I would have him speak to my current residents about how he's working the program, taking it slowly, going from inpatient to outpatient, slowly into work. And so I was worried that that guilt or that shame would prevent him, excuse me, from coming back here because he just talked to him 3 weeks ago and was telling him how good he was doing. And now he's living with them. And but he was able to get over that, just realizing that we got to get back up and keep trying. You know, it's progress. And he made progress. Just the fact that he identified what was going wrong, what he was missing.
Yeah, Coach Johnny, can you speak to that too? You, for a while, worked at an inpatient. Now you're, of course, on to another job responsibility, as well as taking care of the GOGI mailroom and all of those other tasks. Is Justin's experience with the inpatient client similar to something that you have experienced that you can share? And our goal is really somebody sitting in an 8-foot cell, or they're watching on YouTube, you know, scrolling through videos, and they're watching this, but they may question, does this fit into my life? Or is this possible for me? Or does this apply? Can you speak to what this experience might be like?
Definitely. Yeah, I've had the opportunity and the privilege to work as an alcohol and drug counselor the first 5 years that I was out. I've been out a little bit over 6 years, and I totally relate to what Justin was sharing. So what I would do with my clients is I would have them write out a 10-year vision. In 10 years, what do you want your life to look like? Cast a vision, you know, for a future worth having. And then when those times came up, I would invite them to reflect on the 10-year vision that they wrote. And I would explain to them, like, look, the door locks from the outside, not the inside. So if you ever want to leave, that's always a possibility. But is that what you really want? And continue to line them up with what they say they want, their future, understanding. Like, oftentimes I would ask them, what movie have they seen multiple times? And when they shared the movie, I'm like, did the ending ever change? And what happens, it's the same with addiction. I think the same is true too, is a lot of us get out and we think like everything is just going to be rolled out and there's not going to be any problems. All the problems are in prison. And we get out and we get to experience life, and life shows up. And, you know, oftentimes the way to escape is through alcohol or drugs or even criminal behavior. And what happens is we get to make choices that are going to line us up with what we say that we want. So I totally relate to what Justin was saying. I have seen that happen over and over. And just for the young man to go back and humble himself. And humility, you know, I've heard the word humility, and it says not thinking less of myself, it's thinking of myself less, and understand what true humility is. And
Say that again. It's not, say that one more time. It's
Humility,
not thinking.
less of myself. It's thinking of myself less.
Beautiful. That's
Yeah.
really lovely. And I think that goes back to what Justin was recommending or what he observed with this man. Justin, do you believe that his desire to get ahead in his career and take that shift change, which probably resulted in a little bit extra money, do you think that was the catalyst for that downward spiral?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing with like being responsible. It's something I recently learned that I need to place the responsibility to myself above all else, because that really is that forgive. Because I cannot give when I have this hyper sense of responsibility to always be at work on time. I was to the point where I'm expecting a car wreck, so I leave extra early, which means I'm losing an extra 45 minutes sleep every day. And over time that adds up. And now I'm coming to work and I'm not in the best mood because I thought I had my responsibility to my employer was high, and I forgot all about me and I was neglecting myself. And now I'm no longer in that safe place because I'm missing my self-care and my needs, placing other people's needs above mine. And that's really like what he did. He was placing those financial things, which are all good things, but any positive aspect of character when overdone can become a defect. And so responsibility in that way, when we don't have it prioritized right, can become a defect. And then we end up relapsing or returning to our old ways. And then we know where that leads to.
I think I remember quite well your evolution and coming to the Gogi mailroom and working and volunteering and wanting to give back so much. And I remember it got you to the breaking point. You were just trying to do so good and so much. It almost took you to that breaking point. How did you decide what was critical and vital and what was really a distraction? Because there are many opportunities for individuals. How did you filter through all that? And what did you hold on to? And what did you need to let go of? Or why did you need to clear the plate a little bit?
I think honestly, in prison, it takes for the lifers, it takes so long to get out. So much preparation goes into it. And I just developed that idea of making amends. And that became very important to me. And I was focused on that. And so I just wanted to give wherever I could. My whole life was a life of service. And I wanted to do everything. Unfortunately, I had my circumstances wouldn't allow me to do everything I wanted to do. And my thoughts I wasn't having positive thoughts. I was dwelling on the negative thoughts. I was angry all the time. I was using a tool, my 5-second light switch. When I get angry, I go to the gym. That might have had positive effects, but I was never coping with the real issue. I was never changing the thoughts. I was never getting into positive thoughts. And I was at the breaking point, and I never even told anybody how close I was and how serious it was. And it was that walk with you, Coach Taylor, when you told me, I can't do everything. I don't need to do everything, that I'm fine the way I am. I don't owe nothing else. And that was able to help me get refocused. That my value isn't dependent on what I do. And I don't have to do it all, because I was lost and I was ready to throw everything away that I had worked so hard for. Luckily, in the GOGI community, which is the best community I'm involved with, somebody sent out a little picture with the words, I don't know if they're gifts or what they're even called yet. And it said, remember when you used to dream about doing exactly what you're doing. And I was like, that one hit me. That refocused me, because here I was doing what I used to do. When I would sit at the tables in prison and do Gogi with people, I would tell them, you could get paid for doing this out there. And here I was doing it. Yet I was focused on what I couldn't do. And I wasn't living that ultimate freedom, because I was still confined to my own thoughts. I was still in a mental prison. I was still killing myself. And yeah, the GOGI tools really helped me. I got my favorite GOGI tools. I got to be a boss of my brain. That's number one. Then I got to use 5-second light switch when I have those negative thoughts, which I'm a person who deals with depression and things like that. So I have those come and go. And then forgive. That's my number one tool. I have to be safe no matter what. If that means I can't associate with certain people, I'm fine with that. I don't even feel guilty because my freedom and my safety is utmost important. And then back to the positive thoughts. So yeah, it's 5-second light switch, boss of my brain, forgive. And then I just say ultimate freedom just comes naturally. I'm not even sure if that's a tool or the result. To me,
Yeah,
it's the result.
exactly. Coach Johnny, you and I have watched Justin now for a couple of years, maybe more than a couple of years. What have you watched in his transformation that now makes him as compassionate, skilled, intuitive as he is as a counselor? How did his journey help him help others?
Definitely, I want to say his experiences.
Yeah.
Those are always, you know, they say we in life, we can look at things as stumbling blocks or stepping stones. And I experienced Justin as using those obstacles as opportunities. And not only for himself, but for other people. Like he's in an amazing field and he's an amazing counselor. Like I talked to, he don't know this, but I know some of his clients. And they told me about the heart that he has. And people say, people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. And in recovery, and in his own life, like being able to show up and listen and be present, that's not it's not a thing that happens all the time out here. People go to dinner together and are texting each other while they're at the dinner table. So that connection is something that he brings to people around him. I've also experienced him as being of service and doing whatever he can when he can. Reaching out to, he has a whole community of women in CCWF who adore him, who know how he shows up for them and just contributes to them wanting to be better people. There's no strings attached. There's nothing that he's asking for in return. He just wants to share this gift called Gogi. And he knows like how it's contributed to him being a better person in life. And my experience with Justin is that he's found himself and he's really locked in and he's really committed to living this life where it's about being of service and giving back. And you know, it's just a pleasure to know him. And we talk not often enough, but just so he knows, like I'm always here for you, and whatever you need or however I can support you in any way, like please let me know. And like you said, it's a
Justin,
great community.
how would you describe yourself 10 years ago, Justin?
10 years ago, I was isolated. I was lonely. I was suicidal. I was drug addicted. I was aggressive and violent. Everything nobody sees now.
You know, there will be individuals who are watching this on tablets or cell phones, on YouTube or wherever they are. And a lot of people will be alone as they're watching these videos. And a lot of people will be saying, well, yeah, but he doesn't have my problems, or he doesn't know what it's like, or if you could sit in that cell with that person, what would you tell them?
Man, I would have to tell them, you know, our life is a product of our choices. The minute we decide to get out of feeling sorry for ourselves or feeling that we can't make a difference, that's when the change begins. You know, we have to get up and do something, go to school, learn some self-help. To me, education, I need social education. I need to learn how to act among people. I need academic education because I dropped out of school. Most people in prison, that's a common thing. I needed religious education to help me with my morals and things like that. And so, and Gogi give me tools to manage my emotions and my reactions to life. And I just tell them I'm the proof. I have my friends that are still inside all the time to say that you encouraged me so much because I knew the other guy. You know, I don't even use that name no more. When I put somebody new on my tablet that I haven't talked to in 20 years and they put that name in there, I said, no, I killed him. I'm Justin. you know?
Tell me, who are you today? If you're not that man 10 years ago, who are you today?
Man, I'm a servant of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I'm kind, I'm generous, I'm giving, I'm a son, a son that a mother is proud of, and she can say it and I can accept it because I'm not hiding things anymore. She's not saying that, and I know that I'm just getting away with it, you know, and it makes me feel good. When I make my little laments to people, it feels good. It feels good to wake up and not have guilt, not have regret. It feels good to sleep good because I don't have that on my mind. You know, it's just like, I am so blessed. Life is a blessing. I can't believe I did it any other way and made it so hard on myself when it's at times it's tough. Responsibility is tough, but it's so worth it. And yeah, I'm just everything I was in the groups. We talk about principles and defects. You replace violence with kindness. Yeah, everything I was, it's not. Yeah, what you see today, everything before was the opposite.
Can anybody do it? Or is it just a select few?
Everybody can do it. You just have to want it. You have to want it. You seek out help. I talk about the community. Johnny talked about not talking enough, but I know he's always there. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for the community, the GOGI community. You know, we are tight knit. Somebody's hurting, we pick them up. Somebody
I love
needs,
that.
we supply it.
I love that. And I'm so grateful you took the time to be with us. Really, so very grateful.
No, thank you. I love to be able to share it. Just because of what it's done for my life. I want other people who aren't there yet to get there. And these tools can definitely do that.
And on that note, we will bid you adieu and we will see you soon. So wonderful. Continue to do your good.
GOGI for life.
Absolutely, Gogi for life.
Okay, Coach.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
You have a wonderful day.
Always.
GOGI told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I. GOGI told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I. GOGI told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I. GOGI told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I. GOGI told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I. GOGI told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I. GOGI told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I. GOGI told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I. GOGI told me this, I got the